According to the Steam hardware survey, the average user, at least in June 2025, only has 8 gigabytes of virtual RAM for their GPU. They only are using HD, or 1080p, right? And this also tracks whenever they're using multiple monitors because it's 38 by 40, so they're just using two 1980 1080 monitors. So it's crazy, man. This bit about hard drive space also tracks with me because this is about the amount of space I have myself. Although I do have a 1 terabyte drive. I'm on Windows 11, I have 16 gigabytes of RAM. This is about the speed of my CPU. That's a good range. And I do actually have a Quest 2. So these are all pretty accurate, man. But the question is, as games get more and more intensive on systems and they get bigger in size, are people still going to buy these games? I mean, you're talking about a third of people that only have 8 gigabytes of VRAM. You know what I mean? I tell you them personally, my friend group, none of us really have amazing computers. We're not spending thousands of dollars on our computers, or at least we haven't recently. I think the best GPU I've heard of in my group has been a 2080. Okay. So nowhere in the 3000, 4000, 5000 series. In other words, all of our computers are starting to age a little bit. Okay. It's not good, but whenever you think about it, what games have come out recently that are honestly good and fun to play? Like, what would you buy? The Steam summer sale came and went, and we picked up like 2 games, maybe, if that. Definitely 1, maybe 2. I mean, come on, man. I mean, prices all around are starting to get more expensive. Just overall. Okay, you can notice it if you just fucking walk outside. Nobody's even going out to fast food places anymore, which is why they're getting these deals to try and entice customers to come back. They're selling these meals at a loss. Okay, they can't afford to sell them as cheap as they're selling them. So they hope customers come back and buy other items off of the menu. McDonald's is setting up this $3 breakfast burrito or some shit. Would you pay $3 for a fucking breakfast burrito? How about 150? What about a single dollar? Yeah, probably, but that's not profitable. So whenever you talk about gaming GPU prices, none of these are really bad. It's only a few $100, right? It's not even anywhere close to fine. Well, this one is. But anyway, this all looks fairly affordable, man. A paycheck or two, really? Nothing huge. But this is still on the lower end of what you should consider good in today's standards. Really, to be up to par with everything, you'd want a 4070. Let's go with the 4060 laptop since that was what was on the Steam hardware survey. It runs 99% of games, 1 generation old, 8 gigabytes of RAM there, VRAM. But how much actually is a 4060 laptop? Let's see. Definitely on the pricier side, closer to $1,000, if not more. To be honest, though, if you ask me, this is kind of close to console prices now. Obviously, a few $100s more over it, but I mean, it's still within that ballpark range. So the average consumer isn't going to drop $2 or $3 on a fucking computer. You know what I mean? And here we go. The first fucking post that comes up. The 4060 is considered bad because it's not much faster than the 3060. So if you really want to talk about it, the 60 series, it kind of fucking sucks, okay? 70s are usually what almost everybody goes for. 80s are great, and of course 90s are overpriced, but considered the best. With 60s being the cheapest, I mean, everybody is going to go for that, just so you can say you're part of that series, but they are also the weakest. Then, of course, there's the debate of, if I get a TI or a Super version of this card, does that mean that it's just as good as the next version of it? So if I got a 4060 Ti, is that the same thing as a 4070? Is that the same thing as a fucking 56? You know what I mean? Recently, there's been a lot of buzz about the 7700, I think it is. It was some sort of AMD card around that one. But there's been a lot of buzz around it because of the performance it gives you. Even though it's a bit of a cheaper card, it's on par with some of NVIDIA's better cards for a little bit of a lower price, okay? You know, you're not gonna get the same thing as a fucking 5070 or 5080 for $500, all right? But it does look pretty good, and it just goes to show you people will choose the best performing thing at a reasonable price, okay? There's always gonna be brand loyalists out there, but the vast majority of people aren't gonna just stick to the same thing. It's like window shopping for a job. You're not gonna stay at the same job if they don't give you a raise, or you really shouldn't anyway. The ideal situation is to look around and try to find a better job, you know what I mean? A better value, and that's where this comes in here. I think it's just really some great commentary about gaming in general, video games, and prices nowadays.